Hey folks, welcome back for another build video where we're looking at the new Exodus exotic gloves, which come with the Smokescreen talent. On armor break, drop a smoke bomb at your feet, concealing you from enemies for 3 seconds, and it has a 40-second cooldown. So as soon as I read any talent that has a armor break trigger, my first thought is to pair that with the Unbreakable chest talent. So what we've got here today is a crit hit red core build with some additional survivability thanks to our new glove talent and our trusty chest talent. For our specialization, we've gone with the Gunner. For the reliable incessant talent, granting us 10% armor on kill. On top of that, the hardened armor kits grant 100% armor repair and grant 30% bonus armor for 10 seconds. And the barrage talent gives a 5% rate of fire increase for 5 seconds when you kill an enemy. For our primary weapon, we've gone with the Lexington high-end named assault rifle, which comes with a higher base weapon damage than its unnamed cousin. And on top of that, we have the measured talent. The top half of the magazine has a plus 25% rate of fire and a minus 25% weapon damage. The bottom half of the magazine has a minus 18% rate of fire and plus 30% total weapon damage. But whatever primary weapon you go with, if you don't choose an exotic, that leaves your secondary weapon slot open for the Scorpio exotic shotgun, which comes with the still very impressive septic shock talent. At 2 stacks you poison, at 4 you disorient, at 6 you shock, and at 9 targets take an additional 20% damage from all sources and stacks no longer increase. While the Scorpio and its septic shock talent aren't as powerful as when it was first introduced, it is still a great way to stun lock your enemies. So what you will see me do in the video later on is start with the Lexington, switch to the Scorpio if I need to then stun lock the enemy, and then switch back to the Lexington to finish off said enemy. For sidearm, we've gone with the D50 with the preservation talent. Killing an enemy repairs 10% armor over 5 seconds. Headshot kills improve repair by an additional 10%. As with many builds, the sidearm is much more of a preferential choice here. Personally, I feel like preservation pairs particularly well with the incessant talent, giving you a total of 30% armor on kill if you get a headshot kill on a particular enemy. For mask, we have 1 piece of s.r.o, giving us plus 8% critical hit chance, thanks to that first brand bonus there. For attribute slots, we have crit chance, crit damage, and crit damage in the mod slot. We won't belabor this, but we will throw up the crit damage calculation right there on screen. Just follow that, input your own personal math. Make sure you don't go over 60% critical hit chance because that is the cap in this game. And then beyond that, just make sure you are applying mods to maximize your own critical hit modifier. For a backpack, we've gone with the Matador, which is the named Walker Harris & Co. backpack. The brand bonus there gives us plus 5% weapon damage. Our attributes and mods are very similar to our mask. And then in the talent slot there, we have the perfect adrenaline rush. Whenever you are within 10 meters of an enemy, gain plus 23% armor for 5 seconds, which stacks up to 3 times, the cooldown for which is 5 seconds. Given that this build can operate up close and personal, we didn't want to go with Vigilance because every time you get hit, that talent deactivates. So instead, we've gone with an option that gives you a little bit more survivability on top of our chest and glove talents. The idea here is to make a red core build a little more survivable than it otherwise would be. One last note on the Matador, it is a Dark Zone exclusive. It is still a relatively difficult piece to get and farm for. So if you don't have the Matador, a normal Walker Harris & Co. with standard Adrenaline Rush would be the swap in here. For chest piece, we have 1 piece of s.r.o gear with that brand bonus giving us plus 15% magazine size. Since the introduction of this brand set, I really do like the s.r.o gear, particularly that 1 piece bonus, that plus 15% mag size, giving you that extra bit of damage output before you need to reload, especially when you're pairing it with the measured talent. I really just like the way those two pair together, but obviously if you wanted to go with Fenris for your assault rifle, you could do that as well. Just make sure in your talent slot you go with Unbreakable. When your armor is depleted, repair 95% of your armor, and it has a cooldown of 60 seconds. I do really quick want to compare this to the perfectly Unbreakable talent available on the Zero F's Badger Tough chest piece, which repairs 100% of your armor and reduces the cooldown to 55 seconds. So while every little bit is nice to have, the difference between the perfectly Unbreakable and Unbreakable talents isn't significant enough that I felt it was necessary to sacrifice one of those weapon damage cores or significantly raised the bar to attain this build by making it so that you needed a crit chance, crit damage, 0 Fs that you could then re-roll the weapon core attribute onto. But I did want to acknowledge, if you want to go and hunt for that piece, you could, and then that would just mean that you're building more into your shotgun damage with the Badger Tough brand set. For gloves, we have the catalyst for this build, the Exodus gloves with the Smokescreen talent down there. We already read it off at the top of this video for you, so we won't go over that again. But I do just want to say this pairs particularly well with Unbreakable. It means that you can be way more aggressive with what is otherwise a very squishy build with an all red core build. You can put yourself out there. When your armor breaks, you drop that smoke bomb, you immediately get it refreshed by Unbreakable, and then you can keep plugging away at enemies while they are smoke bombed, giving you that extra little bit of time to take down an enemy that was nearly there, or enough time to run away and regroup if you do need to do that instead. For holster, we have one piece of Grupo giving us plus 13% critical hit damage, and then again we have weapon damage, critical hit chance, and critical hit damage in our secondary attribute slots. And then for our knee pads, we have our crit hit staple of Fox's Prayer. The Overlord Armament plus 10% rifle damage bonus goes unused here, but we do get that all-important plus 8% damage to target out of cover secondary attribute, giving us that all-important damage multiplier to increase our weapon damage output. For skills, we've gone with the Reviver Hive and the Blinder Firefly. The Reviver Hive here is a common choice for a lot of my red core builds, particularly this one where you are running out of cover and pressing your advantage more often than you otherwise would be. The Reviver Hive is just a nice extra protection if you do overextend yourself and your Unbreakable might be on cooldown. Particularly with the Exodus gloves, this is a nice skill to have because you can get up off the ground in less than 3 seconds, meaning that your enemies will still be smoke bombed and give you a little bit of time to get away. I don't want to overemphasize that though. You are still going to be fighting against the clock if you get up with the Reviver Hive and then have to get out of the way. But that is potentially somewhere where the Blinder Firefly can come into effect. As you can see there, it applies blind status effect on affected targets. And as you'll see later in the video, what that means is enemies cover their eyes, stop shooting at you very crucially, and give you some time to either take them down or disappear behind cover. Either way, this is a great addition to this build as it gives you another way to distract your enemies, give yourself time to reload, repair your armor, or get back into cover if you've overextended yourself. With all that being said, this is our first crack at an Exodus crit hit build. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Take it for a spin, see how it feels. As always, like and subscribe if you liked this video, and please tell your friends about the channel so you can continue to help us grow and make videos like this. And as always, we will see you in the next one. Proximity.
stop living life until the city's end. But the hyenas, we tore up the rule book long ago. If you want freedom, join us.
Are you okay?
Start enjoying
Friendly
those
control point nearby.
left. There are plenty of things for everyone on. The hyenas can show you.
Bouncer scheme detected.
Getting away with that.
Progress halted.
Our enemies want you to stop living life until
required.
the city's end.
Progress resumed.
Kill everything that moves. Closing on my position.
Manual override required.
Taking up ground! Yeah! Look at us!